And so the Fishbone D epic raid has officially entered its awakened status. A 23 million HP boss to go against this month in the month of June. And while it is quite an easy epic raid, there are however quite a few attacks that can easily catch you off guard, and that ultimately results to a lot of people in my particular lobbies from yesterday where everyone just ends up dying. So for those that are yet to tackle this epic raid or have not learned the pattern itself, we're here to go through all the attack patterns and of course how to best tackle this epic raids. First up though, let's look at the actual stats for this particular boss. Fishbone D of course is a holo, so those with holo killer are more ideal here. On the ultimate difficulty, the boss has 23 million HP, which quite frankly isn't a lot, and it's actually significantly less compared to some of the newer awakened epic raids, which overall does make this epic raid significantly easier. The familiar obtainable in this particular quest is of course Fishbone D. He offers 150 extra stamina, 35 attack, and also 35 SP, while his familiar skill is knockback resistance plus 35%. It's an okay familiar skill, good for this current epic raid as it does feature a lot of knockback attacks. For those wondering what skill you should put on your familiar, I always recommend going with full stamina damage. The bonus characters are on your screen. Some of them are quite outdated, but the new 3 characters, Zapado, Nelio, and also Norito, have been added to this list of characters. By using them, you're getting more damage and also more bonus medals. Having an actual look at the attack pattern itself though, real quick before we even do talk about that, I do want to give a quick heads up on knowing when to soul bomb. Of course, in epic raid content, to make it easier for yourself and your team, you do want to use soul bombs that can apply weakening and of course also weaken defense. However, because a lot of these attacks, especially the first attack starting right away, you can actually interrupt your teammates by using your soul bomb when they're trying to flash step away from a particular attack. So it's best to use your soul bomb when there is a cooldown period, so I would kind of advise not using a soul bomb right away. Having a look at the actual attack pattern though, phase 1 will begin straight away, where Fishbone D will do 4 circular attacks aimed at a random player each time. They do give you enough time to flash step away from it, and it begins and ends very quickly. And after that attack is done, Fishbone D will then begin a pushback attack. While charging this up, he will also prepare a circular crunch, which will essentially instant kill any player that is actually close to him, therefore meaning the safe zone is going to be on the outer side of the map. However, you do not want to stay there for too long because the knockback attack will push you to the edge, and that will therefore cause you to get paralyzed. So once the circular crunch does go off, you want to quickly flash step forward into the center of the map. That way, once you do get knocked back, you won't be hitting the edge of the map. But keep in mind, once the knockback attack does go off, he would then do a forward launcher, which will be an instant kill move, so if you are caught in this, you are going to instantly die, and this will be aimed at a random player each time, so it is random every time it does happen. But essentially all you have to do here is just flash step left or right. It's going to be a super easy attack to dodge, but if you do get hit by it, you are going to pay for it. The next attack, and this is where a lot of people get actually confused here. There are going to be 4 variations of this particular attack: left knuckle, right knuckle, front smash, and back crush. The indicator displayed on screen and also the attack itself from Fishbone D will indicate what area he is going to attack. Of course, if it's the back crush, it's going to be behind him. If it's the front smash, it's going to be in front of him. Left knuckle is going to be his left, and right knuckle is going to be his right. However, keep in mind is that Fishbone D will never be looking at the same direction. So just because he's doing a front smash does not mean he's going to attack the lower part of the map. It could be the left side. It could be at the back. It really depends on where Fishbone D is looking, and that is indicated by the green arrow that will be in front of him. So the idea here is that you want to see where the green arrow is pointed and also look at what the text is saying. If the green arrow is pointing downwards and he's doing a back crush, well, that means the upper half of the map will be hit with the insta-kill attack. But keep in mind, he will be doing this attack twice. So in this particular run, he did the back crush, and right after that, he started to prepare the left knuckle. And since he's looking downwards, you can see that the attack itself is going to be on the right side of the map, therefore meaning the left side is going to be the safe zone. This particular attack can definitely take a bit to get used to, but once you just look at the actual boss itself and pay attention to the green arrow, this will be very easily dodgeable. My advice is to stay close to Fishbone D, so all you have to do then is just flash step once to get into a safe zone. And that is essentially phase 1. Going into the second phase is going to start off very similar to the first phase. In this case, it's going to do 4 attacks aimed at a random player each time. Instead of a circular attack, this time it's going to be a directional attack, which therefore makes it easy to actually dodge. Just make sure you don't get caught up in it and stay close to the boss to make sure you can easily flash step away from these attacks. Fishbone D will then begin the second attack for this phase, which once more is a circular crunch. So you want to stand on the outer side of the map, as that will be the safe zone, otherwise you are going to get instant kills. And simultaneously, he will be doing 3 directional attacks, always in the exact same position, and it's very easily dodgeable just by going back and forth. But once more, just like phase 1, once that attack is done, he will then do a forward launcher, an instant kill move aimed at a random player. Again, easily dodgeable, just flash step out of the way. Fishbone D would then begin the final attack for this particular phase. In this case, he will summon 4 vortexes around him and also prepare a circular crunch, therefore meaning if you're close to him, you are going to get insta-killed. Once more, the safe zone will be on the outer side of the map. But right when that attack is done, he would then once more do a directional attack. Very similar to phase 1, it could be a left knuckle, right knuckle, front smash, or back crush. Once more, pay attention to what he is looking at, which is indicated by the green arrow, and look at what attack he is about to do. In my case, he was looking upwards, preparing a left knuckle, so the safe zone was on the right side of the map. And that is phase 2. Once that attack is done, he would then repeat the process. Going into phase 3, he's going to start off doing a very similar attack, which we saw in phase 1 and 2. 4 different attacks this time, 2 circular attacks and 2 directional attacks aimed at a random player. Very easily dodgeable and really shouldn't cause much of an issue here. Fishbone D would then do a directional attack, but this time it's going to cover the majority of the map, only leaving 1 space as a safe zone. Now the safe zone is random each time. It will be either left, right, up, or down, but the easiest way to tell where the safe zone is going to be, it's the opposite of the first initial attack. So in my particular run, he shot downwards, and that therefore meant the opposite, that being upwards, is where the safe zone is going to be. So the idea here is to pay attention to where the first attack is going to be, because the opposite of that will be the safe zone. And once that's done, Fishbone D will then begin the final attack. In this case, he will charge up a confusing shot, which will push you back, but also confuse you. If you're immune to confusion, this is going to be significantly easier to get around, but if you're not, you're then going to have to maneuver using reverse controls. But the final attack will be something that we are familiar with, a left knuckle, right knuckle, upward smash, or back crush. Very easily dodgeable, but since you are using reverse controls here, it might take a bit to get used to. But again, pay attention to where he's looking and where he's charging up the attack. In my case, he was looking to the left, and since he was doing a left knuckle, that therefore meant the attack was going to be at the bottom half of the map. So just flash stepping upwards or just walking upwards, minutes so I was in the safe zone. And with that, that is basically the Fishbone D epic raid in a nutshell. Very similar attacks each phase, and a very easy epic raid for the most part. The boss itself only has 23 million HP, that's less than usual, and the attack themselves are easily dodgeable with only 1 or 2 flash steps. Once you get the hang of this epic raid, it's going to be super easy, but I will admit this epic raid does take quite a while to get used to, most importantly though when it comes to the insta-kill attacks that he does do at the end of each phase. Since you have to pay attention to where he is looking while also dodging attacks, also damaging the boss itself, and in the case of the first phase, have to use reverse controls. So I do understand it takes a while to get used to, but once you get used to it, it becomes super easy. My advice though is for the third phase, you want to make sure you use most of your soul bombs, since a lot of times in epic raid lobbies you are going with full standard damage bonus abilities, you are forced to take damage, and that therefore means the third phase can actually take quite some time. So saving your powerful soul bomb for the third phase, having weakened defense on your soul bomb is definitely ideal here, and that overall will allow you to get through this particular boss very, very easy. With that said though, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this was able to teach you on how to tackle this epic raids. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.